CEO of the TNT Stock Exchange, Ava Mitchell, reported a significant increase in market capitalization during the first 7 months of 2026.
So far into 2026, the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange recorded a total market capitalization of approximately $100.7 billion, representing an increase from $91.9 billion in January 2026. This reflects a gain of $8.8 billion or 9.6% over the 7-month period.
She said the TNT Stock Exchange continues to hold a dominant position within the region.
The increase was supported by favorable market performance and the impact of corporate actions undertaken during that period. The Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange remains the largest stock exchange by market capitalization in the Caribbean.
Ms. Mitchell said the TNT Stock Exchange remains committed to creating an environment where businesses of every size can access capital, investors can participate in wealth creation, and the capital market continues to support national economic development. The Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago has urged the public to engage respectfully in discussions surrounding the Court of Appeal's recent ruling involving businesspersons Dominic and Genevieve Hadid. The association cautioned that personal attacks and unsubstantiated allegations against members of the judiciary could erode public confidence in the justice system. In a media release, it stressed that the ruling arose from an interlocutory application and does not determine the ultimate legality of the detention at issue or the constitutionality of emergency powers regulations. While affirming the public's right to scrutinize and criticize court decisions, the association said commentary should not impugn the integrity or independence of the judiciary. It said constitutional questions surrounding detention and emergency powers remain before the courts and should be resolved through judicial process. The association also expressed confidence in the independence and impartiality of the judiciary and urged citizens to engage in informed and respectful debate. In sport now, the West Indies narrowly missed out on victory against New Zealand in the 4th ODI at Kensington Oval in Barbados on Sunday, losing by just 1 wicket despite a determined half-century from Trinidad and Tobago batsman Amir Jangu. The loss confirmed the 3-1 series defeat with 1 match to go, but Jangu was pleased with what was only his second ODI 50 for the regional team.
Yeah, I think pretty pleased with my performance, but having said that, would have liked for it to be in a winning cause. Very difficult result, tough pill to swallow. But yeah, it just wasn't good enough on the day, so just have to keep going.
And that's what's making the news at this time. Well, joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Virmala Balkaran. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday. We have to keep track. We have to keep track, you know.
Yeah,
Today
honestly, I've been losing track of the days. All I know it's just one very long year.
You know, you just have to remember it's 2 days after Argentina lost and Spain won. That's all you need to remember.
Wow. For the biggest bandwagonist I've ever known, you are seriously carrying this on.
Hey, you know what? I was, again, I have proof. I came with receipts. I have the proof that I was supporting Spain since 2010.
Why are you like this? Well, hopefully people have gotten over their tabanca by now. And also, I'm so happy to tell you that the roads are nice and clear this morning. Hopefully, I'm not jinxing that. But if you are making your way to the capital, it's really nice and clear. You know, Java, July, August vacation.
Vacation, that's right.
Yeah, it's in full swing.
School is closed, so, you know, not as many vehicles have to be on the road at the same time to get the little ones to school.
Yeah. Now, how did you spend your Java back in the day?
It depends on which period, right? So in my pre-teen years, I lived countryside, so, you know, I would be doing things like riding box carts and climbing trees. What else? Riding bike down a dirt hill, and I had an accident there, you know. It's not fun trying to do it's not fun ending up doing a head spin on some gravel and some stones, but, you know, I survived to tell the tale.
Yeah, Java was always really fun for me, but I took a lot of extra lessons. So my parents didn't believe in being idle or having a very long break without any sort of mental stimulation.
Definitely.
But I did that. But I also had, some kid days. I did a lot. So I grew up with a lot of male cousins. I was pretty much the
Right.
only female. I was also the oldest one. And I would have them, helping me model, and I would put them in some really nice clothes, and we
Very
would play.
nice. So you're a
we'd play-
designer, you're a designer during that
Exactly,
time.
from small. And we'd play cricket, and we'd have a really good time. We'd listen to MTV. Do you remember back then we used to have those morning, the morning music videos? Remember that?
Yes. Jeez, the
So that was
end
so
of an
much
era,
fun.
right? Like
but
different
this
time.
morning I just want to take a quick minute to say that we lost some of the people that I grew up with along the way, and I always remember that during the July-August vacation, and it was
and like
yeah.
wow, MTV and like music videos nowadays it's not like long time like now a lot of them very questionable content.
Yeah.
Like it was a little more family friendly back in the day.
Well, you know what? It grew us up really, really well, and now I have
Bring
a
back
great
the
taste.
old time days.
That's right. Have a great day, Carrie. I'll talk to you soon on the show. So much
All
to
right,
look forward
looking
to.
forward to it.
Carrie, bye-bye.
All right, thanks so much, Virmala. When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going right after this short break.
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
Find anybody special yet?
To answer your question, no boyfriend, no prospects, no nothing. Okay?
Hey everybody, Mike Avery here.
It's kind of cute. If Mike Avery asked me out, I would say yeah.
You're DMing Mike Avery.
She said she'd go out with him. I set up a fake profile. I want you to take my sister out.
With 2 minutes to go in the fourth. You know how important that is? You know what I'm saying?
Being in person is so different.
You said it was what you wanted.
You are my Christmas wish. You know
Win tickets to cricket history. The men in maroon are coming home, and you could be there live. As part of the We Outside campaign, the West Indies take on Pakistan in an historic 2-match test series in Trinidad and Tobago. Watch and listen across the TTT Limited Network for your chance to win tickets to the matches. Tune in to TTT's Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show, Sweet 100.1 FM, Talk City 91.1 FM, and Next 99.1 FM. We'll be giving away tickets to both test matches, including the historic first test at Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Taruba, the venue's first ever international test match. So watch, listen, and win. West Indies versus Pakistan. The We Outside campaign continues, and your seat at the cricket could be just a call away. Watch, listen, win. West Indies versus Pakistan. Only on the TTT Limited Media Network.
We are the drum shaking. We are the drum shaking. We are the drum shaking.
Tuesday, 21st July 2026. The time now, it is 6:10 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran, and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Let's take a look now at what's trending this morning. Well, search and recovery efforts continue in Guyana following the sinking of the MV Virmala. Authorities say the vessel has been located on the seabed about 9 miles offshore Devonshire Castle Flats after debris was spotted at sea. Now, the Guyana Defence Force, Coast Guard and other agencies have recovered 27 bodies, while 69 passengers and crew members have been rescued so far. Efforts remain ongoing to locate additional persons believed to still be missing. Now, Trinidad and Tobago has deployed Coast Guard personnel, search and rescue equipment and a TTDF C-26 surveillance aircraft to assist Guyana's recovery efforts. France has also provided support through the deployment of divers to join local teams at the confirmed vessel site. Authorities are saying that the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center remains active as rescue and recovery operations continue. And search efforts continue for 6 crew members aboard the fishing vessel St. Vincent 7, which has been missing at sea since Monday, July 13th. Well, the vessel owned by Renata Enterprises Limited departed from Trinidad on July 6th from Chaguaramas and was last known to be near the maritime borders of Suriname and French Guyana. Authorities say the vessel caught fire around 6:30 a.m. on Monday, and there has been no confirmed contact or sighting since. The 6 crew members on board include 4 Trinidadians, 1 Vincentian national and a Guyanese captain. The search operation remains ongoing. Now to some lighter news. Did you catch Lupita Nyong'o's catching the soca vibes? Well, the Oscar-winning actress was all smiles as she danced to Young Brother's hit song Greatest Bend Over while getting her hair styled by celebrity hairstylist Vernon Francois ahead of her appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. And the moment quickly gained attention online as the track that dominated the 2025 Carnival season continues to introduce audiences around the world to the energy of Trinidad and Tobago's soca music. Nyong'o is known for her award-winning role in 12 Years a Slave, as well as major films like Black Panther, There's Us, A Quiet Place, Day One, The Wild Robot, and also The Jungle Book. Let's take a look. So from carnival stages in Trinidad and Tobago to international audiences, soca continues to showcase the country's culture on the global stage. And well, the World Cup may be over, but the drama certainly isn't. FIFA has opened an investigation into the ugly scenes that erupted after Argentina's defeat to Spain in Sunday's final. Now, several Argentine players and members of the coaching staff were involved in confrontations that we saw as Spain celebrated its 1-0 victory. And FIFA has since appointed a disciplinary prosecutor to review the incidents, meaning the players and coaches and even the Argentine Football Association could face fines or suspensions. Argentina is also already under scrutiny over a political banner displayed after its semi-final victory over England. And no timeline has yet been given for the investigation, but it's clear that the fallout from the World Cup final is far from over. But we're just getting started here, so you know what to do. Grab a cup of coffee and settle in. Trinidad and Tobago Today has begun.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives, one property at a time.
Win tickets to cricket history. The men in maroon are coming home, and you could be there live. As part of the We Outside campaign, the West Indies take on Pakistan in an historic 2-match test series in Trinidad and Tobago. Watch and listen across the TTT Limited Network for your chance to win tickets to the matches. Tune in to TTT's Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show, Sweet 100.1 FM, Talk City 91.1 FM, and Next 99.1 FM. We'll be giving away tickets to both test matches, including the historic first test at Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Taruba, the venue's first ever international test match. So watch, listen, and win. West Indies versus Pakistan. The We Outside campaign continues, and your seat at the cricket could be just a call away. Watch, listen, win. West Indies versus Pakistan. Only on the TTT Limited Media Network.
We are the ground shaking. We are the ground shaking. We are the ground shaking.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going like,
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
I have just come from Buckingham Palace, where I have accepted His Majesty the King's invitation to form a government. In doing so, I am acutely conscious that I am the 6th person in the last 10 years to walk up this street, the 7th Prime Minister since 2016, making this a moment for reflection and new resolution. It requires my generation of politicians to raise our game and rise to the new challenge. Britain needs to show the world.
The United Kingdom has a new Prime Minister. Andy Burnham has officially taken office, promising what he describes as a new plan for Britain and the biggest changes to British policies in the last 40 years. In his first address from Downing Street, he pledged to bring back hope and ease the cost of living pressures facing families, tackle homelessness and create more opportunities for young people and restore political stability after years of change at the top. Now, what do these early promises tell us about the direction of Burnham's government? How different will his leadership be from that of his predecessor? And what challenges lie ahead as he begins to reshape Britain's political and economic landscape? Well, joining us to unpack all of this is political scientist Professor Hamid Ghani. Professor, always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, and good morning.
Good morning. Now, Andy Burnham described this as a moment for reflection and a new resolution after years of political change in the United Kingdom. How significant is this transition for British politics?
Well, it's very significant because the Westminster model had always been portrayed as the gold standard of political stability. And the fact that he is now the 7th Prime Minister in 10 years is something that is reason to pause and reflect on what has happened here. And it has to do with what is going on inside of the political parties, because the key to becoming the prime minister is that you become, first of all, the leader of the party, and then you become prime minister. So that what has happened, you've had all of these episodes of infighting inside of political parties that have seen leaders being removed from both sides, not just the Conservatives who had the bulk of the changes of prime minister, but now Labour. 2 years ago, July 4th, 2024, the general election produced a massive Labour victory of 420 seats out of 650. They had a huge majority. And as a consequence of that, it was felt that, Labour would be in power for 5 years, Starmer would be prime minister for 5 years, no need for a general election anytime soon. And then the internal infighting started, policy differences. They started to lose elections, by-elections. They lost the local government elections massively in May. And one began to see that the ground was shifting under Sir Keir Starmer. And what was going on inside the Labour Party was a movement to have him replaced. And this is what has happened. Now, the very interesting thing is that Andy Burnham was not a member of Parliament, so that an MP who had some difficulties politically stepped down and created a vacancy in a northern constituency. And Andy Burnham contested the by-election. And then what happened is that the orchestration took place within the Labour Party, and all of a sudden he won the by-election, and then the next thing you know, he put himself up to become leader of the party. No one challenged him. He got the leadership of the party unopposed, and here he is, sworn in as prime minister.
Now, one of the key themes, Professor, of his speech was restoring public confidence in politics, which I think is definitely needed at this time. Why do you think that message resonated so strongly in his opening address?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with what he said, that he's the sixth person to walk up Downing Street to come to number 10 in the last 10 years. So it's not lost on him exactly how he fits into this. The fact that there has been that degree of instability at the top in terms of all of these changes, and these are changes that are going on, based on the fact that only on one occasion was there a general election. Outside of that, you had internal party elections, and there is a difference between them. But at the same time, what he's acutely aware of the fact of what has gone on here, and he is flagging it out in the open to say that, look, I am very much aware of the instability that has gone on. The extent to which he's going to bring stability to this will also depend on, the kinds of policy moves that he makes, because what has happened on the right of British politics, you have the Conservatives have been undermined considerably by the Reform UK. And on the left, the Green Party has also undermined some of Labour's support. So you have a more fluid political situation, not as two-party dominated as it might have been in the old days. And the political ground is changing because people's opinions are more diverse. What has kept all of this going is the first-past-the-post system, which tends to favor two major parties, and that is what has largely sustained both Labour and Conservative parties rotating between them.
He also mentioned a 10-year national plan. That's been a serious talking point, over the past few hours. How ambitious is that agenda? As he says, he's promising what he calls the biggest political and economic changes in 4 decades. That's a lot for him. How ambitious is that, and what political challenges do you think stand in the way of him achieving that?
Yeah, well, the political challenge that stands in the way of achieving that will be the fact that, Labour had a manifesto for the last general election, and he says he's committed to sticking to the manifesto, so that from a political standpoint, that is more or less a very safe way in which to address the changes that you want to bring in. But the 10-year political plan is likely to invite commentary from the other parties in the parliament, who may say, well, look, your mandate is for 5 years from 2024, and this business of a 10-year plan that you want to map out may invite calls for a general election. Because he was asked that question specifically yesterday by a Sky News reporter, and he says, well, look, we have a parliamentary democracy, so that you can have a change of prime minister during a parliamentary term, and you can play within those rules. But I think the 10-year plan, while it is ambitious, and we would all want to hear what it is he has to say, is likely to come later in the year. At the same time, the other parties, the political challenge will come from the other parties who will say, look, you're talking about a 10-year plan. Let's talk about a general election if you want to deal with a 10-year plan, and let's put this before the electorate. So yes, it is ambitious, but at the same time, it is going to be challenging.
I want to shift focus a little bit to the outgoing Keir Starmer now. I believe we do have a clip for you to take in before we get to that. So let's do that now.
I'm about to visit His Majesty the King to offer my resignation and close the book on my time as Prime Minister. My work is done. We face a world now where our enemies will stop at nothing to divide us because of our values, our freedom, our decency, and frankly, because of our unflinching resolve towards the brave people of Ukraine.
Now, in this address, Professor, former Prime Minister Keir Starmer, reflected on his government's achievements, however, short that time may have been, and he did wish his successor well. So how important now is that orderly transfer of power in Westminster democracies?
Well, that is one of the hallmarks of Westminster democracy, is that you have these orderly transfers of power. And that has been the hallmark of the Westminster model. We operate a Westminster Whitehall model. It's not an exact replica. There are aspects of our Constitution that are different. We have had, orderly transitions of power here. And then under various circumstances, the death of Dr. Eric Williams in 1981, we had an orderly transition of power. You had the defeat of the PNM in 1986 with George Chambers at the helm, and you had an orderly transition of power. And we've had orderly transitions. 1991, Patrick Manning and the PNM came to power. We had even the most controversial, the 1818 tie of December 2001, and President Robinson forming the opinion that Mr. Manning's 18 was greater than Mr. Pandey's 18, and that he made a change and appointed Manning as Prime Minister. But that was purely within the discretion of the presidency. And you've had these kinds of changes that have taken place largely electorally. The only time we really had an orchestrated change was in March of 2025, when there was a change from Dr. Keith Rowley to Stuart Young. But that was different to what we saw yesterday in the UK, because Dr. Rowley did not resign as leader of the PNM. He said he would stay as leader, but he was resigning as Prime Minister. That created an unusual situation, but the Constitution and the way it is worded allowed him to do that. The interpretation of the Constitution by the President remains a controversial thing, whether she appointed him under Section 76(1)A or should have appointed him under Section 76(1)B. Because the 76(1)A, there were basically two leaders. Dr. Rowley was still there, and then Stuart Young had the support of a majority of the members of Parliament to become the Prime Minister. So there was this awkward situation of having two leaders of the PNM in the House. And that created a situation of whether there was an undisputed leader or not. That's a matter of debate for another time. But then the same section that the president used to appoint Stuart Young was a section that was used to appoint Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and the circumstances were completely different. So that, it is something that we would have to reflect on. And then Stuart Young dissolved Parliament the day after he was appointed Prime Minister. That's not happening in the UK with Andy Burnham. It happened here with Stuart Young. And it was unusual because he had a cabinet reshuffle when he was appointed on the 17th of March, 2025. And then on the 18th of March, he dissolved Parliament. And up to this day, no one has ever asked him why did he dissolve Parliament, what was the reason for dissolving Parliament. But that opened the door for the return of the United National Congress to power.
Professor, Keir Starmer also leaves office just after about 2 years as Prime Minister. But, you know, there was some pointing to achievements in the economy and public services and also Britain's international standing. Now, can you this morning for us assess his time in office and what legacy do you think he leaves behind?
Well, I think that one of the things that he attempted to do pretty early on was to address the revenue shortfalls that were inherited from the previous government. And the inheritance of revenue shortfalls is always a matter of great challenge for any government that comes in after another government has gone out, leaving behind a difficult financial situation. We're seeing it now in Trinidad and Tobago. The current government having to manage a difficult economic situation that it inherited. And what happened with Keir Starmer in 2024 is that the Labour Party and Keir Starmer inherited a difficult economic situation left behind by the Conservative government. So that was a big challenge, but I think there were some mistakes along the way. I think pretty early on, an unforced error was made by removing the subsidies for pensioners with their winter fuel payments. And I think that really was a matter that was highly controversial, and it was an unforced error, and it really dogged him from the very beginning. You see, you can't afford to take these large majorities for granted. Because when you do that kind of thing, and you know that was not on the cards in terms of electoral promises to be done so early in the game, and then he had some difficulties in terms of his own staffing arrangements at Downing Street. His chief of staff, the person he wanted, Sue Gray, there was a lot of infighting going on within the civil service about having her as his chief of staff. And she ended up resigning, and he had to get someone else. And then they had the appointment of Lord Mandelson as the ambassador to Washington. That consumed a lot of controversial time in his premiership. And that, because of the link to the Epstein situation, that really dogged him. And then what happened is that it emerged that the vetting process was not as complete and thorough as it could have been. So he found himself mired in controversy all along. And despite the huge majority and the fact that he was the leader of the party, there were those who were seeking to undermine him and actively working to undermine him, and they succeeded. They got him out because the leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch, in one of the Prime Minister's Question Times said, well, you know, if everything is so great as you say it is, why are you resigning? And that I think that comment from the leader of the opposition was one that really highlighted the situation. If things are so great, why are you resigning? And I think that Keir Starmer, during his time in office, made certain attempts to adjust policy positions, but also retain some. I mean, the previous support for Ukraine in the war with Russia that was being provided by the Conservative government, he continued that and maintained it. His relations with Donald Trump were up and down. And Andy Burnham, his first phone call yesterday was to Donald Trump. So we'll see how that relationship is going to emerge. One thing that has, become a big issue, and Trump has flagged this a lot, is the question of North Sea oil and the suggestion that Britain could be earning, far more wealth from its North Sea oil instead of not drilling for oil in the North Sea or limited drilling for oil in the North Sea, which affects the revenue position and leads to higher taxes. And it's linked back to this green agenda. That's a highly controversial issue. And I think that that also created some difficulties for him. And then the rise, the immigration problem. He had the problem of the small boats coming from France with illegal immigrants coming into the country, which they really have not been able to stop. But in more recent times, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, has been able to appear to get a grip on what is going on with regard to illegal immigration, because it is changing the face of Britain, and that is contributed in a large extent to the rise of the reform movement and Nigel Farage.
Well, Professor, before we wrap up this morning, briefly, can you tell us, looking ahead, what will be the key indicators, or at least the ones that you're looking at to watch during Prime Minister Burnham's first 100 days in office?
Well, the first thing will be tomorrow morning. He has his first Prime Minister's questions at the dispatch box in the House of Commons. He's going to face the Leader of the Opposition in the Prime Minister's questions. Of course, Prime Minister's questions operates on the basis that the Leader of the Opposition gets 6 questions. She can do with the 6 questions whatever she wishes, and other members of Parliament are able to ask questions, but they don't get follow-up questions. So you can ask a question, no follow-up. And the Leader of the Opposition gets 6 questions, and she can do with those 6 whatever she wishes. So it's going to be interesting. The first challenge will be, the first one out the door will be facing the Leader of the Opposition, Kemi Badenoch, tomorrow, 12 noon UK time, 7 o'clock in the morning our time, at the dispatch box in the House of Commons. And that's going to be interesting to see how that exchange will go, because the last one last week was the last Prime Minister's questions for Keir Starmer. And it was a very civil occasion. They were very kind to one another, and it sort of highlighted a kind of civility in politics that is rare. But it was a good moment. If anyone goes back and has a look at that final PMQ, I'm sure the one tomorrow will be very, very different. Because it's back to business as usual between government and opposition. But I think his first budget, there'll be an autumn economic statement, most probably in September, October, and or maybe even November. And that, I think, is going to be one of the things to look at to see where he's going economically, because now we're into the summer, Parliament is going into recess, and the courts are in recess, and so on. We're into silly season. There's not much news going on. So perhaps it's a good time for him to try to set himself up. But Prime Minister's questions, I think, would be something that we need to look at.
Yeah, and we'll definitely look at that with you. Hopefully we'll have you back, just to help us continue to analyze all of that. Thank you so much, Professor. As usual, great contribution, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day. Well, Andy Burnham has entered office with so much enthusiasm and an ambitious agenda, and also a promise to restore confidence in government. But as with any new administration, the real test will be turning those promises into results. We'll be watching that closely and to see how everything unfolds. We take a quick break and come back with more.
Anybody special yet? To answer your question, no boyfriend, no prospects, no nothing. Okay?
Hey everybody, Mike Avery here.
It's kind of cute. If Mike Avery asked me out, I would say yeah.
You're DMing Mike Avery?
She said she'd go out with him. I set up a fake profile. I want you to take my sister out.
2 minutes to go in the fort. You know how important that is? You know what I'm saying?
Being in person is so different.
You said he was what you wanted.
You are my Christmas wish. You know that.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
Up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 1020 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
We need to have a fundraising event to raise some money for the children's clinic.
Just think about all those kiddies at the clinic.
You probably don't even know that you're smiling.
My boy, so charming.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup has come to an end, but the conversation continues both on and off the pitch. England secured their best finish since lifting the trophy in 1966, while Argentina's conduct following their matches has really sparked global debate over sportsmanship, discipline, and the values of the game. Well, joining us to reflect on England's campaign and the major talking points from this year's tournament is a former Trinidad and Tobago senior men's national team head coach and former England professional footballer, Terry Fenwick. Good morning, Mr. Fenwick, and welcome back to the show.
Yeah, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Hope everybody's having a lovely start to the day.
So how did you enjoy the tournament?
I actually loved it. I think obviously there was a lot of points in there. When you reflect and look at Donald Trump getting involved with a red card situation, that big question mark there. You've just mentioned Argentina. The stats are coming out now, and their foul ratio is 3 times more than any other team in the competition. That was clearly a tactic, the coach behind all of that. Something that I didn't enjoy at all. But I think all in all, yes, it was a wonderful tournament. I think the fans enjoyed it. All of the games were exciting. Everything that I watched had me riveted to the TV. It was fantastic.
Now, as an Englishman and a former England international, how would you assess England's World Cup campaign now for us? A third place finish is their best result since 1966. Yes. Is that progress?
Well, I just thought the new coach, Thomas Tuchel, I think he's done a terrific job. He's put things together. He's identified players for positions. And yes, I thought England had a good tournament, but I thought our tactics against Argentina were terrible. When you look at the game itself, in the first 15 minutes of the game, Argentina had more than 30 fouls, and this was not just kicks of in and around the ball. It was arms, elbows, hand in the face. It was crazy, and the referee let everything go. And I was sat watching the game with a number of friends, and I said, you watch, as soon as an England player gets nasty and makes a tackle, a yellow card will come out. And literally as I said that, it happened, and Anderson got a yellow card. Now, this is clearly not just the Argentine team and their tactics, but that was, for me, the officiating. We're all ready and waiting for how Argentina were going to play this game. And I just thought they got far too much throughout the tournament. And that spoilt them. I mean, my God, when we look at Lionel Messi, everybody wanted him to have a great World Cup, do his stuff. He scored goals in the opening games. But I think everybody's now reflecting on the Argentine performance as being so aggressive, it was out of hand.
Now, England produced some outstanding individual performances, Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane, and they broke records. Does this tournament suggest now that England has the foundation to challenge seriously for the next World Cup?
Yeah, I think so. Reflecting on the France-England third place playoff, 10 goals in one game. And both teams at the end of the game are hugging everybody up. That's how football should be renowned, how it should be seen, how it should bring things together. And I looked at that attacking England team, 4-0 up at half-time. I thought they were brilliant. That's our capabilities. That's the players that we've got available. And I just thought Thomas Tuchel, I thought he took too much on with Argentina. They were very aggressive again, but I thought we've got the guys to stand up to that and play. And if we'd scored a second goal in that game, it might well have been England in the final. But I can't argue. I think we had a good tournament generally. And Jude Bellingham, fantastic. Saka, when he came on, fantastic. I think there's some great positions in there. You know, we had Declan Rice not very well for almost 2 weeks of the tournament. Kane was outstanding as usual. So yes, I think we've got a lot to back us up for next competitions.
Well, Spain lifted the trophy. Much of that conversation, as we began discussing, has really centered on Argentina's conduct. I want to ask you, what was your reaction to those actual scenes that unfolded?
I thought it was disgusting. And for me, as a coach, you recognise all the time what the opposition, what the team's tactics are, what they're trying to achieve, how they're trying to do it. But when you look at what's happened here, there was so many of these Argentine players really drummed up before the kickoff of the game. It didn't start at the end of every game. It started before kickoff. And I thought their manner, look at this is disgusting. In my opinion, FIFA have got to step up and there've got to be some sort of disciplinary action because of these actions of the players. My God, when I look at Martinez all over the place there, Paredes, he was terrible, De Paul, Alvarez, Simeone, they were terrible. They were going after the opposition all of the time. And you've got some of the England players there lying on the floor, upset, and Jude Bellingham there slapping them on the head because he was disgusting. He shouted something at Bellingham that was out of order. Look at how they're handling themselves here. This was typical Argentina. And I'm sorry that sent out the wrong message to the kids around the world that love their sport, love their soccer, love their football. I think that was really poor of the Argentine team and in particular their coach.
Now, there was also the display of political messaging during the tournament, again, something we touched on when we started this conversation, and that has seriously sparked some debates. Now, should football remain, separate from politics, in your opinion, or is that becoming increasingly difficult in today's world?
I think it's got to stay far, far away from politics. We've only got to look at politics in Trinidad and Tobago right now and see how disgusting it's becoming. It's turning nasty and it's turning into race as well as politics. We've got to keep that outside of football. This is about kids, development, coming up, representing your national teams. I'm disgusted with some of the things that have happened over World Cup because of the same politics. But we've got to keep that far and away. Donald Trump getting involved was a highlight. And yes, he might do it with a smile and it wasn't meant to be nasty, but FIFA cannot allow them sort of transactions to happen. That's crazy.
Now, Coach, some fans have defended Argentina by saying that their actions reflected passion and a fierce desire to win. Of course, those are their fans, right? While others are saying now that absolutely crossed the line. So what would you say to both those sets of people?
No, well, I'm coming back to the coach again. This was their tactics. They were aggressive in every game they started. The first 10, 15 minutes of every Argentine game, they had 3 times more fouls than any other team in the competition. That was because the coach that's what he's putting into them. He wants them to be passionate. He wants them to be aggressive. He wants to get under the skin of the opposition and ruffle them up. But I just thought it went overboard. It went too much. How can you do that with a team that's got Lionel Messi, the world's greatest player, in the starting lineup, who wants the ball, wants to show the world how good he is, create goals, score goals? It took all of that away from Messi. Messi looked lost, in my opinion, in this game because of the tactics of the whole team. It was far too aggressive, and that's not the message we should be sending to the kids around the world.
Now, Terry, if players or officials are found to have breached FIFA's disciplinary code, what sanctions would you expect now from your expertise, and would they send a strong enough message?
I don't know whether they can, because, you know, straight away when I look at some of the games and the officials that were involved, again, Argentina, Messi knew all of the USA referees that were involved in these games, and he was having a conversation with them throughout the game. That's not meant to be what the officials do. They cannot engage with any specific players and give them preference. Look at Messi in the background there watching what's going on. I think he was sickened by his own players. That's disgraceful. That should be 3 to 5 game suspension automatic through these players. Nah. And I was only thanking God, really, that I wasn't playing in the England game against Argentina, because I wouldn't have stepped back. I probably would have levelled 1 or 2 players myself.
Now, what impact could this controversy really have on Argentina's reputation now, particularly given the respect that the country has earned through its football history?
Yeah, I think this is very damaging. You can't start a sports game like this so aggressive. It's one thing being competitive. I'm okay with all of that. That's how I used to play as a player myself. But we picked players up. We shook players' hands at the end of the game. We hugged them up. Well done, well played, all of that. We weren't nasty. We weren't getting into political sagas, Falklands Islands and all of this nonsense that went on. Flags being showed that shouldn't have been out there. That is people behind the scenes. Again, the coach should be getting a grip of that and not allowing it. The game is too big. It's too powerful. This has been the greatest World Cup we've seen in our lifetimes. It's been, marvellous. Yes, we need to tighten it up, and there needs to be areas that FIFA look at. Infantino himself, the president of FIFA, I think he's under pressure himself because he allowed a number of things to go on. The officials need to get tighter, so across the board, across the world, they're playing to the same game, all of the officials. I didn't see that in this World Cup. There was referees out there that were allowing certain things for certain teams. Again, that's wrong.
Yeah, there was definitely so much, Coach, to unpack from this World Cup, from the business perspective and also, the sport perspective, obviously. Before we wrap up, so I know I asked you your thoughts on the tournament, but who are your key players who really, shone through for this tournament, and what were the highlights of this tournament for you?
Well, I was pleased in the end that Spain won the World Cup, and I think Rodrigo, Manchester City's player, I think he was fantastic from start to finish. What a player. Kept his cool, possession of the ball, interceptions, tackles, recovering possession of the ball for Spain. Jamal Lamine was brilliant himself. 19 years old. Imagine he had his birthday through the World Cup competition and performing at that level. That's what I'm talking about. Having great players around brings youngsters of this quality through and allows them at such a young age to perform at that level for their national team. Fantastic. I thought England had some good players in the tournament. Jude Bellingham was magnificent, in my opinion. Great on the ball, strength, character, and done both sides of it, scored some great goals. Some terrific performances, and I'm just hoping that the kids on the street there have been watching this, learning from it, seeing the disciplines that are necessary to get to this level of football, because you know, football today doesn't just bring a brilliant sport to the table, it's also education. And as we looked at Spain, their manner, attitude was absolutely magnificent. They produced everything the game should be renowned for. And, you know, in reflection to them against Argentina, not even close. But this is how we've got to build on this tournament. The fans were having an absolute ball all over the USA, Canada, Mexico. They had a terrific time. Everybody enjoying themselves.
Yeah, it was
wonderful.
definitely a great time, and we will miss all of that action. Thank you so much, Terry, for your insights. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
And you too.
All right, take care. Just a few minutes before the top of the hour, we've got a short break, and then Carrie's up next with the major network news. I'll see you inside hour number 2 of Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you know, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel. And I never regretted it.
Every village has a story. Every tradition has a voice. This July 16th to August 1st, discover them all at the 2026 Tobago Heritage Festival. This year's theme, Let We Tell the Whole Story, invites you to experience the customs, resilience, and rich cultural legacy that continue to define Tobago. Join us for unforgettable performances, village celebrations, and authentic cultural experiences across the island. The Tobago Heritage Festival 2026. Let we tell the whole story. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for event details.
I know it sounds romantic to leave everything behind to bake bread and muffins, but this isn't us. We haven't worked here in 20 years.
I'm from the Great National Trust Bank. Is there somewhere we could go?
2 weeks.
That gives you until the 24th.
But I mean, it's Christmas Eve. Have you thought about entering the Grand Prix?
The what?
The dessert Grand Prix.
I love it, that show.
We can save the bakery and we can save Mom's house.
Welcome to day 1 of Chef Paulo's Dessert Grand Prix Christmas Special. This is your 2-minute warning, chefs.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. This isn't just some game for bored housewives. This is baking, and you're rolling with the big boys now.
Came out from underground, and met 3 new friends. What will he discover today? Let's shout his name to the world. Came out from underground, and met 3 new friends. Ride off in car and fly up high. Let's have a fun time. La 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 la, la la
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time, President of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali, has assured the public that a full and independent probe will be conducted into the MV Barima tragedy, even as efforts remain focused on saving lives, caring for survivors, and helping families mourning their loved ones. The passenger vessel issued a distress call late Saturday while en route to Port Kaituma. The government of Guyana confirmed on Monday that the death toll had risen to 10. In an update on Monday afternoon, President Ali described the tragedy as one of the most painful moments in the country's history and praised the extensive rescue effort involving emergency responders, volunteers, and community members.
Priority remains to protect every life that still can be saved, to support those who have endured unimaginable trauma and loss, to comfort grieving families, and to account for every person who remains unaccounted for. Every minute matters, every life matters, and every possible resource is being mobilized in pursuit of this mission.
The president also pledged transparency and accountability once rescue and recovery operations are completed.
I also assure the nation that there will be a full, thorough, and independent investigation into this tragedy. The families affected, and indeed the people of Guyana, deserve answers. They deserve to know precisely what transpired and whether any failures contributed to this heartbreaking event. We'll pursue the truth with transparency, impartiality, and accountability.
The government of Guyana has reported that around 1:30 p.m. on Monday, aggressive and coordinated actions by various stakeholders led to the positive identification of the location of the MV Virmala. In other news, marking the spiritual commencement of this year's Pan-African Festival TT, the Emancipation Support Committee officially blessed the grounds of the Lidj Yasu Umawale Emancipation Village, themed Igniting African Consciousness, Dismantling Colonial Legacies. The annual ceremony included libation led by Elder Equino Moyo, a sacred African tradition that honors ancestors and symbolizes the connection between past, present, and future generations.
So through libation, we join with our ancestors. We actually become our ancestors. Without ancestor communion, there is no renewal. And the cycle of life is broken.
Emancipation celebrations are set to begin. Participants were encouraged to reflect on both their individual and collective responsibilities.
Understand what you do and what you fail to do, and what you do incorrectly to harm your community.
Elder Moyo stressed that African consciousness must be reflected not only in words and cultural pride, but also in meaningful actions that strengthen and uplift communities. In sport now, New Zealand have won a thriller in Barbados, beating the West Indies by just 1 wicket in the 4th ODI to clinch the 5-match series with a match to spare. After trailing early in the series, the Black Caps have now won 3 straight low-scoring battles, and none tighter than this one at Kensington Oval. Chasing 189 to win, New Zealand looked comfortable at 142 for 4 thanks to Mark Chapman's aggressive 80, but his wicket sparked a collapse, 5 down for just 47 runs. Captain Mitchell Santner survived a drop catch in the deep before steering his side home, finishing 34 not out. West Indies spinner Gurukesh Moti took 5 wickets in a losing effort. The dead rubber finale is a day-night clash at the same venue on Tuesday. And that's what's making the news at this time. But when we come back, it's the second hour of Trinidad and Tobago Today. Stay tuned.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off,
long drives, or house lives.
We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar.
This isn't just radio, it's tradition.
It's memories.
It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welsh on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news, real stories in real time. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Trinidad and Tobago Today on TTT. For streaming us live on Facebook or YouTube, a special good morning to you. We read all of your comments every single morning and we love having you here. Continuing with the show this morning, public relations has never been more important. In an era of artificial intelligence, misinformation, declining public trust, and an always-on digital landscape, effective communication is no longer just about managing an organization's image, but it's about building credibility, fostering trust, and navigating increasingly complex conversations. And for more than 5 decades, the Public Relations Association of Trinidad and Tobago, better known as PRAT, has been at the forefront of advancing the communications profession, championing best practices, and of course, supporting the professionals who shape the way organizations engage with the public. And today, they're entering a new chapter with a newly elected executive and a renewed vision for the future of the industry. Joining me this morning, Pratt Vice President Dion Legore, who is with us via Zoom, and Pratt Executive Member Josephine Lemond-Cricky. Good morning to you both, ladies. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
And good morning to Dion on Zoom. How are you this morning?
I am well, thank you. Good morning to you. Good morning to your listeners, wherever in the world they may be. And thank you so much for having us. Your introduction is quite precise because public relations at this time, well, public relations has always been a strategic function, but more so now where we have a lot of competing interests. And the Public Relations Association of Trinidad and Tobago, through the current executive, which took office earlier this year, one of the things we did immediately on taking office was running a survey, which we were happy to release last week as we commemorated the World Public Relations Day. World Public Relations Day takes place on July 16th. So we ran this survey throughout Trinidad and Tobago, but more so throughout the region. And the results were quite interesting, where you found that one of the areas, for example, that persons were most interested in developing and wanted Pratt to place focus was on strategic communications. That in itself is a telling tale so that persons understand that communications, public relations, the strategic functions, and I urge businesses to incorporate public relations and that corporate communications function into the strategic planning of any business. It is critical to do so so that the persons who have to protect your brand, tell your brand story, and safeguard the brand in times of crisis are well acquainted and immersed in the strategy of the organization. I would also urge young professionals who are starting their careers to join the Public Relations Association because within the association there is the advantage of many seasoned professionals who can provide mentorship. I will pass to Josephine to give us more details on the levels of membership, the tiers of membership within the association, and to share how persons can join the association. Josephine?
Thank you very much, Dion. So in terms of the different levels of membership, we've got the professional, we've got the associate. So this is someone who perhaps has been in the profession for, say, 1 to 3 years. And then, as Dion mentioned, students, because we do recognize that as you're coming through the ranks, and Dion mentioned about mentorship, but then also as part of the survey, we had a question about what do people want from the association. And in that is also about training, development. And so as even I, for myself, as a younger person, as I was coming through the ranks, I wanted to learn. I had an eagerness to learn, and I still do. And so for the youth is to try and help them and help them come through in an easier way. Additionally, we also offer corporate membership, where a company can have up to 5 members. And then that is great too, because they get different offers. For example, maybe discounts on webinars, training. They can arrange for personal training as well, in-house training. And so there are lots of benefits to joining. Through LinkedIn, I had people reaching out to me from the region that they want to become involved because they may not actually have an association in their country, regionally. And kudos to Guyana, who they launched their own Public Relations Association on Thursday, World PR Day. And also much kudos to the founder of, or the person instrumental in establishing the association in 1972, Mr. Roy Mitchell. And as you say, there's been a need from even back in 1972 to have an association and to help the profession develop, evolve, and to try and achieve certain standards. Because if professionals can demonstrate a certain professionalism, standards, consistency, then it's all the better for us being taken seriously and for companies, as Dion mentioned, to be part of the strategic planning. Famously, crisis management is a very popular topic. And, in the training, they learn about putting together a crisis plan that if something happens, they know who to contact, maybe a statement to release whilst they're gathering information. In this survey, one of the things that came out quite clearly was about misinformation and disinformation, one of the concerns. In a vacuum, misinformation, disinformation fills in. So therefore, we as professionals, we as an association, we can help an organization, as Dion said, to help to protect their brand. It may not always go right, but it's better than silence. And people, I think, are more forgiving in terms of they tried. We heard from them within a certain time frame, and they set out, we will come back to you. But when there's silence, and that does not bode well for, the persons working in the company, either as communications department, the employees, because they want to know, and the public, the customers.
Dion, I'm going to come back to you now to ask you a little bit about the key priorities for the association over the next 2 years now that we've welcomed this new executive. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, certainly I will. In terms of a platform, you would find that this executive is looking to have some serious collaborations with other organizations, both locally, regionally, and internationally. So I say to the executive team, we have big, bold ambitions which must be executed to the benefit of our careers in terms of the function of corporate communications and public relations, and to the benefit of this region. In the Caribbean, we have many talented experts and professionals, and building those synergies between the region and international bodies is one of the prongs of the new executive. As a matter of fact, we are well advanced in terms of not just discussions, but signing MOUs to the benefit of practitioners in the region and in Trinidad and Tobago. So that is one element. And with that will also come opportunities for professional development at discounted rates from international recognized and accredited organizations globally. There's also the prong of mentorship, where as an organization and a body, we want to ensure that persons think of public relations not just as a job, but as a career, a fruitful career where they can advance and really make seminal type contributions to the field. So there is the mentorship and professional development element. We are also looking at ways where we can support small and medium enterprises through training. You have a lot of expertise within the Public Relations Association, and so we are leveraging on that expertise to support business and entrepreneurship in different spheres within the country and within the region as well. And of course, because of the online ability, we can help and support and provide training globally. These are not just aspirations. The work is already in train to ensure this happens, but more so the simple things going forward, maintaining communication with the membership. So within the next few weeks, we are relaunching a newsletter which will be used to communicate with the membership. We are also more active on our social media platforms, and we are active LinkedIn, and there's elements on Instagram, Facebook, and you will find more consistent communication coming between the association and our membership. And we invite persons to join. We invite persons to participate in the events. That's another element. We will be having more frequent events going forward. And Josephina, will defer to you now to provide details on the social media handles so persons can readily see what is taking place and to join the association.
Thank you, Dion. And one of the things the team has done has made it very consistent throughout our different social media handles. So therefore, it's public relations with an S, TT. So therefore, our website is publicrelationstt.com.org. Then we have on LinkedIn, you can find us there, Facebook, Public Relations TT, Instagram, and yes, by all means, some of the executive actually have the Public Relations Association of Trinidad and Tobago in their profile. So therefore, if anyone is having any problems, challenges, then they're more than welcome to connect with us. And our email address is info.pratt, P-R-A-T-T, at gmail.com. So info.pratt at gmail.com.
Yes, and the website is on the screen as well. That's publicrelationstt.org. Well, thank you very much, ladies, for joining us and really highlighting the important work that Pratt continues to do in strengthening the communications profession in Trinidad and Tobago. We look forward to talking to you soon again, and thank you so much, Dion. And as the industry evolves, organizations really need ethical, strategic, and skilled communicators more than ever, and it's encouraging to see Pratt investing in professional development, collaboration, and the next generation of practitioners. We wish you all the success as you lead the association into this new chapter. Well, the time now 7:21 a.m. and of course, maybe a little later on, we're going to give you an update on what's happening with the MV Burma situation in Guyana. That's something we continue to closely follow as well as the rescue efforts that are happening in Venezuela after those twin earthquakes just a few weeks ago. So much to talk about on Trinidad and Tobago today when we come back.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 1020 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
Find anybody special yet?
To answer your question, no. No boyfriend, no prospects, no nothing. Okay?
Hey everybody, Mike Avery here.
It's kind of cute. If Mike Avery asked me out, I would say, yeah.
You're DMing Mike Avery?
She said she'd go out with him. I set up a fake profile. I want you to take my sister out.
2 minutes to go in the fort. You know how important that is? You know what I'm saying?
Being in person, it's so different.
You said it was what you wanted.
You are my Christmas wish. You know
I'm Zena James with your weather update.
For Tuesday, expect another predominantly sunny and hazy day as a significant concentration of Saharan dust continues to dominate our atmosphere. As a result, air quality and visibility will remain reduced, so sensitive persons are advised to take the necessary precautions. The atmosphere will also remain relatively dry, with only a low chance for a brief afternoon shower, mainly over western Trinidad. Temperatures will climb to around 32 degrees in Trinidad and 31 degrees in Tobago. Across the seas, conditions will remain moderate, with wave heights between 1.5 and 2 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago Today on TTT. Now, as I promised you a little earlier, an update from what's happening in Guyana. The death toll from the MV Virmala ferry disaster has risen to 27, with 83 people still missing as search and rescue operations continue. We reached out to our liaison there. That's Mr. Travis Chase, who joined us yesterday. He's actually making his way now to the scene, and he'll give us the update as soon as he can. But of course, he wants to head there and see what's happening for himself. The Prime Minister is also saying that 69 people have been rescued, and authorities are still hopeful that more survivors can be found. So a really heartbreaking story yesterday that a baby was among, one that was found, one of the bodies found at sea. So, just so much to deal with in that situation. Our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to our friends and family and loved ones in Guyana. Well, moving on with the show this morning, some voices don't just entertain, they become part of a nation's soundtrack. And for more than 4 decades, Natalie York has done exactly that. Whether on stage alongside Caribbean music legends, behind the microphone recording thousands of jingles and voiceovers, or representing Trinidad and Tobago as a cultural ambassador, she's really helped to shape the sound of our region while quietly leaving an extraordinary legacy. And now she's reflecting on that remarkable journey in a special production, The Journey of Me and Music, a celebration of the people, the performances, and the passion that have defined her life in music. It's a pleasure to welcome the woman affectionately known as the songstress of the Caribbean, Natalie York. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning, Virmala. So happy to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. You look absolutely beautiful. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Natalie, your career has spanned more than 4 decades. Now, looking back, what are some of the defining moments that really shaped your journey in music?
Well, first of all, I just to be given the opportunity as a youngster, it's very sometimes very difficult for the older generation to trust the younger generation to do their work. So I just want to, I remember doing being called to do the background vocals for Lord Kitchener. And I know that it was hard to give youngsters a chance because, they said that we don't understand the music. And I heard it all, that we don't understand the culture. We don't know how to sing calypso. And it was true. So I was very grateful to given the opportunity at 21 years old to do background vocals for Lord Kitchener and the Mighty Sparrow. And also, one of the moments that I always remember going on to international artists, Grammy-winning artists, I got the opportunity to do a lead for Shabba Ranks when he came to Trinidad to do a concert. His lead vocalist at the time was unwell, so I got a call, the night before the show to come if I could come perform. And I remember I entered this hotel room and walking through smoke, what that is. So and they asked me, they just rattled off all these songs I was supposed to do. And the next day I was on stage performing. And that was one of the highlights of my career. I'd never forget that. Lord Kitchener given me a chance, Mighty Sparrow given me a chance, Shadow given me a chance, and Grammy winner Shabba Ranks. That was awesome for me. I'll never forget that.
And what were some of the most valuable lessons that you learned from them?
Listen to what you have, in order to learn, you have to listen. You have to just, take a step back, listen to hear what people want, because I've done quite a lot of background vocals, and most of the times the angst of the calypsonians, the lead vocalist for whatever genre it is, it's that, do you understand where I'm coming from? I want to hear that in your voice. You have to listen. You have to listen, and you have to look at the picture of what they want you to portray when you deliver your vocals. So
now you've also performed internationally with one of my favorite acts, Kasav, and you've also toured Japan as a cultural ambassador. What did those experiences really teach you about the global appeal of TNT's music?
Well, when I went, Kasav, I don't know if you know, but Kasav means roots. So Kasav's music is basically roots music, which that is what calypso and soca is. It's the roots of the people being expressed in song. So it was quite similar. So it was very easy for us to adapt. When I say us, there were two other girls from Trinidad that I worked with doing background vocals with Kasav. The appeal was those girls got it. The appeal from the audience is like, oh my gosh, you all fit in like if you all belong here. And of course, it's because we understood the music, and they loved Trinidad music. Of course, we took part of us over to Guadeloupe and Paris when we performed. They gave us an opportunity to put ourselves, our own roots, Trinidad and Tobago culture roots, the beat into their music. So that was quite fulfilling for us. For me,
you've also been called the jingle queen as well. You've recorded more than 2,000 commercial jingles and over 1,000 voiceovers. That's a lot, and that's really impressive. How did you build such a successful career beyond the concert stage?
Again, trust and understanding what the client wants. Advertising business is to sell the product, right? So the expression of voice and understanding what the product is about, and they saw that I had a way where I could change my voices into so many different tones and tones and expressions and stuff. So I was quite lucky, I would say, and a lot of award-winning jingles as well. They just meant, I never got an award, but they just mentioned it to me that, thank you, Natalie, the jingle that you did won the award, and I was really grateful. And I'm still being called to do jingles as in my old age.
Yeah, as you should. Well, let's take in a little bit of your performance now for viewers this morning.
Pick a jam for once, you won't regret it. All my love, just come and get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, come on, baby, say you love me. 5, 6, 7 times. 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm just gonna keep on counting until you are mine.
A living legend in her own way. We're so happy to have you with us, Natalie, this morning. Now, the music industry has really changed dramatically over the years. I'm sure you'd agree. How have you adapted to those changes while remaining true to your craft?
Well, I love what I do. So it's very easy for me to adapt, as I've done through the years, I've, again, listened to the different types of music. You have to keep your ear to the ground, as you say, listening to the different styles and not kind of crap on them because that's not what you know. You have to give music a chance and accept it and love not all of it, but at least something. I mean, because these are people that are creating. Creatives are, this is their point of view, this is their style. And when the audience accepts something, that means there is something there. So don't fight against it. Listen. That's what I always do. I always listen. I always find something about the music that makes me feel really good. I'm like, oh, I appreciate that. Oh, look at the chord progression there. Wow, that's awesome. That's how I look at it. And don't give young people a chance. I've learned this from the lead singer of Kassav, the female vocalist Jocelyn Beauvoir. She said that the entertainment business is like a big chain, right? Try not to keep the chain locked. Make room for others. And never try to just pull out links and stuff like that, because once you base it, it never continues. And it's a big circle. It keeps going. Keep the circle going and stuff like that. I've learned that don't down the young people and the generation to come. And that's why I'm thinking of myself as not really competition, but a mentor to the younguns, and my show, it's about the beginning of my career, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, what I experienced. And I'm sure the creatives who attend, they will have answers. They would have questions answered that they were probably dying to know. Just come out and enjoy yourself, and it'll be a wonderful experience.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the journey of me and music now, Natalie. Tell us all that we need to know about that.
Okay, so the journey of me and music, in it explains it in the name itself. It's the beginning of my career, which of course you just played Blue Ventures, where I was the lead vocalist for 5 years. I was about 19 years old when I joined them. And I got the opportunity to tour many countries with them as a cultural ambassador. The journey of me is the beginning of my career, the different experiences I had along the way, and the music that the songs that I'd be performing is some of the songs that I performed all through different eras of my career. I have them kind of, for my bandmates, I have it like big band era, of course, Blue Ventures. I have the Japan tour, where I'll be singing in Japanese. I have Kassav, where I'll be singing in French Creole. I have R&B with all the songs that I used to perform, even when I used to do weddings and stuff like that. R&B, pop, soca, chutney. I remember the first ever song that I performed with Blue Ventures. The introduction to Natalie York was a chutney soca, and it was performed by Drupati Ramgunai. And it was Mr. Bisessa. And when I sang this song, people thought I was Drupati. And I was like, no, I'm not Drupati. So yes, it was the beginning, the endless opportunities that I had to meet not only the icons of Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, but international acts like Tony and Shabba Ranks and Kassav. So
well, Natalie,
it's all about, yes, go ahead.
When people think a few years from now, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered as?
I want my legacy to be, wow, she's amazing. And she really gave back, to her audience, to her fans. I really don't call them fans because I don't think of myself as that great, but people always tell me you're too humble and stuff like that. But I always find that I need to stay grounded. I I want to stay open to anyone who comes up to me to talk to me and say hi. And there are people, I just want them to remember me as someone that's friendly and that knew her craft and gave back to Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, that used her talent.
All right,
and used
Natalie.
it well.
Thank you very much. You are definitely seen just like that by us here at Trinidad and Tobago today, and we're really happy that you spent this time with us this morning. Have a beautiful day, and we'll talk to you soon. We're looking forward to the journey of me and music, and thanks for sharing a remarkable career and journey with us. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you. All right, take care. All right, bye-bye. That was Natalie York, just a career of storytelling and perspective and preserving culture and all of that. Well, moving on with the show this morning, when we think about the end of the road, it often signals a chapter closing, a job, a relationship, a moment in time. But here in Trinidad, the end of one road leads somewhere else entirely. Tucked along the northeastern coast, the village of Matlot marks the final stop on the Paria Main Road. But for those who make the journey, it's anything but an ending. Carrie Roberts takes us there for this installment of Right Here.
Tucked along the furthest reaches of Trinidad is a community where the Paria Main Road ends, and this is the last stop. We're talking about Matlot.
Matlot is a quiet coastal village that, throughout its history, was mostly isolated in its remote corner of Trinidad. Its name, translated from French, means sailor, and points to its origins as a maritime outpost, accessible primarily by sea. The cocoa boom of the late 1800s saw Matlot and other nearby communities become agricultural hubs, which were quickly in need of links between estates. This is where the Paria Main Road comes into play. It was first cut in 1890, finally forging land routes between villages, allowing produce-laden beasts of burden passage. Development since then has seen much of this previously rugged path evolved into the paved carriageways we use today, save for a roughly 20-kilometer stretch between Matlot and Blanchisches that was abandoned due to its especially treacherous terrain. Today, though, even the drive leading to the picturesque village is remarkably scenic. While Matlot is itself far removed from most of the country, there's a warmth and togetherness among the villagers seldom seen in more metropolitan regions of the island. And though remote, that does not always translate to a slow pace in the village. The place where the Matlot River meets with the Caribbean Sea is a reflection of the neighborly spirit evident among villagers, and the spot where the pulse of the village livens. Various aspects of village life are on display here simultaneously, akin to a tapestry mapping every scene in the story of Matlot. Across the Bailey Bridge spanning the Matlot River, the heart of the village is revealed. A spirited football game among boys heats up on a nearby field, while adjacent tents provide temporary shelter for a few who prefer to brave the outdoors for the night. Closer to the water's edge, an aroma wafts through the air, seducing passers-by to its source. Wooden riverside sheds serve as cooking facilities that double as liming spots for those desirous of the authentic Trini River lime experience. That warmth I mentioned earlier was made evident when the group invited us for a plate, and as expected, the chef is blessed with a sweet hand. Downriver, the scene changes, but not the spirit. Busloads of people convene at the waterfront. Some take a refreshing dip in the river shallows. Some lounge on its sandy banks with drink in hand, while others enjoy the jubilant atmosphere and pulsing music emanating from a nearby DJ booth. The river's carved path merges with the Caribbean Sea to the north, where the landscape opens to sweeping coastline, white sands and rocky outcrops. White-capped blue swells surge towards the beach, battering offshore cataracts and breaking down until they gently lap the shore. To the east, a small island, joined to the mainland by an ancient man-made bridge, partially submerged by the tide. To the west, some take advantage of the prime fishing spots the natural land formations provide, while others quietly enjoy the serenity here, removed from the buzzing riverside. While this is the Matlot most visitors are familiar with, there's a treasure hidden deeper within, one that fewer know, much less have the opportunity to see. Join me next time for part 2 of the adventure that still awaits in this remote but special corner of Trinidad. I'm Carrie Roberts, giving you a glimpse into the paradise we have right here.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports with Nasira Mohammed, daily at 7 p.m.
Being connected, it means a lot because first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going like,
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
We outside, exclusively on Talk City 91.1 FM. The men in maroon are coming home. It's the We Outside campaign, the 2026 international home season for the West Indies men's cricket team. And the final leg of the home season takes place right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Talk City 91.1 FM is proud to hold the exclusive radio broadcast rights for the 2-match test series between the West Indies and Pakistan from July 25th to July 29th. History will be made as the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Taruba hosts its first ever international test match, a landmark moment for cricket in Trinidad and Tobago. Then the action shifts to the iconic Queen's Park Oval for the second test from August 2nd to the 6th. Every session, every wicket, every century, every moment. Follow the West Indies, the men in maroon, as they battle Pakistan in a historic test series. We outside, exclusive ball-by-ball coverage, updates, analysts, and commentary. Only on Talk City 91.1 FM, the home of cricket conversation. Talk City 91.1 FM, where the men in maroon live.
We are the ground shaking. We are the ground shaking. We are the ground shaking. Shaking.
Now, dance is more than just what we see on the stage. Behind every polished performance are hours of training. There's discipline, there's physical conditioning, and also artistic development. Well, beyond the competition, though, dance also promotes confidence, creativity, fitness, and community. And it really makes it an important part of personal and cultural development. Well, joining us now to discuss the upcoming Caribbean Dance Council Regional Dance Classics 2026 and the wider impact of dance is Mr. Louis Charles of the Professional and Amateur Dance Association of Trinidad and Tobago, PADAT. Good morning, Mr. Charles. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
All right.
To you and the audience.
Tell us, when audiences watch a polished performance, they they often don't see the work behind it. So what level of dedication and preparation does it really take now to become a competitive dancer?
It takes a lot of dedication and also practice. Dancers would normally have to go through their choreography, but like I said, beyond the choreography, they have to master the technique. The technique which is important in allowing the dancer to move fluently and efficiently around the floor. That is very critical. And also there's a lot of development that goes into that. You have your footwork, you have your poise, you have your musicality. So all this is part of the training that goes towards being a good dancer in the competitive arena.
Now, beyond learning choreography, what skills and qualities, Mr. Charles, do dancers need to develop to perform at a high level?
Okay, beyond choreography is just basically the patterns you go around the floor in. Beyond that, you must have good technique. You must have good musicality. You also have to be training a lot. I mean, most of the dance associations we are affiliated with, they have what you call medal tests. And basically, you go from one stage to the next. So a dancer would have gone through these stages, would have developed their craft over time. It also takes also for the person to understand the different patterns, the different amalgamations, and also floor craft. Because especially in ballroom dance, you have to go around the floor in an anti-clockwise direction. So the dancers must appreciate and understand that. Also in Latin, they must understand the different rhythms, the arm styling and all that. Most dancers today, they have a coach for almost every aspect of the dance. At the top level, a dancer would go to a coach that will speak to just the poise. They'll go to a coach that will speak just to arm styling. They also go to a coach that will speak to floor craft. So all that is involved in your developing your dance for competition.
Now, what does it mean for dancers to represent Trinidad and Tobago at a regional competition now? That's the Caribbean Dance Council Regional Dance Classics.
Well, it's a big thing because it's sort of like patriotic. You're representing your country in a big way. I think you should take it with pride. Also, the dancer is basically representing not only the class, but the country. It's a chance to also meet other persons around the region and the globe. And also it's good for your development. You have a chance to network with other persons around the Caribbean, network with other tutors, other adjudicators, so also improve your craft as you journey through your dance career.
And I know that the Regional Dance Classics will take place this weekend at the National Cycling Centre in Couva. So what can the audiences and the competitors expect, Mr. Charles?
Well, they will see a wide variety of dance, from ballroom and Latin, a different genre in dance. People will be dancing the social foxtrot, the waltz, the quick step, Viennese waltz. In the Latin category, persons will be dancing what you call the jive, the samba, the cha-cha-cha. Some will be dancing paso doble. You'll also see our local dance, what you call the conventional dance. So you'll have a chance to see bolero and calypso dance. You'll see some hip-hop dancing. You see some line dancing, all that. And you have a chance to see persons from various ages. We have the youngest competitor being 6, the persons that's over 60. So you have a wide range of dancers. Quite apart from the local dancers, you have dancers who will be coming from Barbados to also compete in the competition. So you have all that to see.
Mr. Charles, tell us a little bit about Parat and the opportunities that are created for dancers to grow and compete and pursue, professional careers and their passions.
Okay, Parat, it means the Professional Amateur Dance Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Basically, it was formed to develop the cadre of dancers within the country, also develop the professional development of our teachers. Parat, basically, we handle what you call the medal test, which is a very good developmental tool for dancers. They start from what you call the pre-bronze level, and they could go all up to what they call the International Supreme Dance Awards. And at each level, you have to basically have improvement in your skill and your choreography and even your technique, all right? Pilot also does a lot of training for both teachers and the general membership. So we'd have courses that we put on from time to time to develop the dancers. We also, Pilot now is the local organizing committee for this Caribbean Dance Council Dance Sport. Okay, so we are charged with that responsibility as the competition has been held in Trinidad and Tobago. Just to go a bit on the competition, it is hoped that the competition will go around the Caribbean, like we go to Barbados at one time. We hope to go to Jamaica, where we have members. We have Guyana, Antigua. So Pilot is involved in that networking that would allow for the development of both the dancers and also the teachers.
Well, Mr. Charles, what would you say to someone this morning who's always wanted to dance and, but they feel that they're too old or they don't have enough experience and they just can't do this? What would you say to them today?
Well, some people say age is just a number and you're never too young or too old to dance. I would encourage you to join a dance class. You don't have to be dance competitively. You could dance socially and you journey step by step. Rome wasn't built in a day. So you could start learn a calypso dance, then you could learn line dancing, then you go on to what you call the rumba, you learn the foxtrot step by step, and basically go out and enjoy this thing, have fun, because that's the most important thing. You have a chance to socialize with different people, to network, and the dance community is a very engaging community. It's a fun community that you should really get involved in. You're going to meet a lot of nice people, okay, in the dance fraternity. So don't get scared if you have 2 left foot or all that. I've seen persons with two left foot and or 2 left feet, you want to say it, and they are professional dancers. No, they have to teach it. They have to teach it right now.
Look at that. There is hope for me after all. Thank you, Mr. Charles. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. We wish everyone competing in the Caribbean Dance Council Regional Classics all the very best. Have a good day. All right, well, that's what we say goodbye for today. Thank you so much for joining us on Trinidad and Tobago today on TTT. We'll see you tomorrow where we do this all over again from 6 to 8. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please be safe, doing everything that you love. Not too much traffic today. And thanks, of course, to my amazing team. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel. And I never regretted it.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news, real stories in real time. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. As England's leadership passes to Prime Minister Andy Burnham, political scientist Professor Hamid Ghani examines the key developments that led to this significant political transition.
The very interesting thing is that Andy Burnham was not a member of Parliament, so that an MP who had some difficulties politically stepped down and created a vacancy in a northern constituency. And Andy Burnham contested the by-election, and then what happened is that the orchestration took place within the Labour Party, and all of a sudden he won the by-election, and then the next thing you know, he put himself up to become leader of the party. No one challenged him. He got the leadership of the party unopposed, and here he is.
Prime Minister Burnham, in his maiden speech, outlined plans for a 10-year agenda for England's future. However, Professor Hamid Ghani warns that implementing the plan could pose challenges to political stability.
The political plan is likely to invite commentary from the other parties in the Parliament who may say, well, look, you know, your mandate is for 5 years from 2024, and this business of a 10-year plan that you want to map out may invite calls for a general election.
Professor Ghani said the scope of the proposed plan may be overly ambitious and could prompt opposition parties to call for an election, arguing that the electorate should have the opportunity to decide on such far-reaching, long-term proposals for the country's future. In other news, soca and calypso stars Nyla Blackman and Terry Lyons are expanding their carnival portfolios ahead of Carnival 2027, this time stepping into the world of fashion. On Sunday, the duo unveiled their Carnival and Monday wear collections, created in collaboration with RC Mass, showcasing their creative talents beyond the stage.
It feels so, honestly, I'm lost for words because it's been so many years in the making, really crafting and having a band that I'm proud of, and every time I've worked with my band over the years, over like, I want to say 7 soca origins, and refined and just made something I'm truly proud of. So tonight being able to launch the experience for the very first time officially means a big one for me.
Soca superstar and 2026 National Calypso Monarch Terry Lyons has also thrown her designer hat in the ring, teaming up with the band with her Monday wear collection. According to RC Mass director Justin McIntosh, the playful and whimsical theme was chosen by designer Nisha Felice.
Wanted to go a little lighter on the theme. Last year was the webs we weave, which still more storytelling, etc. So this year we just wanted to go a little lighter, keeping the carnival spirit of, you know, whimsical, mystical, light, fun, because at the end of the day, that's the point of carnivals.
As the band has always ensured that their members are given the ultimate experience, he assured that in 2027 it will also deliver. On to some sport now. The West Indies narrowly missed out on victory against New Zealand in the fourth ODI at Kensington Oval in Barbados on Sunday, losing by just 1 wicket, despite a determined half-century from Trinidad and Tobago batsman Amir Jangu. The loss confirmed the 3-1 series defeat with 1 match to go, but Jangu was pleased with what was only his second ODI 50 for the regional team.
Yeah, I think pretty pleased with my performance, but having said that, would have liked for it to be in a winning cause. Very difficult result, tough pill to swallow. But yeah, it just wasn't good enough on the day, so just have to keep going.
And that was your TDT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. On behalf of everyone here, have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.